can see the sphere.
Oh, that's
You have
cool.
nothing to sphere but sphere itself.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the big reset of the Press Pause podcast. This is You're Not Wrong, where I get my two best friends with me to talk about whatever the hell's on their mind, because I try to get them away from our chat where they talk about everything.
Yeah, God forbid we have conversations that aren't recorded.
Talk it out. Like, yeah, that's actually, I want to record it. I like recording it. I'm your host, the often foot and mouth, video game loving, anime loving, Press Pause Mike. My co-host to my left, which you guys can't see, is
Hi.
the well-learned novice anime nerd and generally, what do you mean? You're not well-learned? You don't consider yourself smart?
We'll go with that for now.
Moron. Okay, he is the tall and hairy Mark, the Bo Staffman. Say hi.
Stefan. Hi.
Oh, there
hey,
you said hi.
everybody.
got him
I
to
said
say
hi earlier.
Yeah, he did say hi earlier.
How's it going?
And my other co-host, the Scatterbrain, technologically superior animator who also often derails the conversation any chance they get, Tony DeCamfer.
For the record, we do have separate channels for topics and basically freewheeling. Hate to give notes right now, but
It's true.
we do have multiple outlets for that sort
It's
of thing.
true. It's true.
Is DeComfort your real last name?
He changed it legally.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really...
Also,
I
hairy?
turned-
You're very
That's a
hairy.
very weird.
Fucking clean
pretty
shaven.
hairy.
It's weird.
I'm not clean shaven.
Well, you're not clean shaven, but you're less hairy than I thought you were.
Your image of me is interesting.
I pictured
For
you
the
more as
record,
like
for the record,
gorilla?
yeah, pretty much.
I'm just
For
a
the record,
talking
I
girl.
changed my name because I really loved Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket.
Still haven't seen it. It's on my list. It is on my list. But we're going to open this podcast with what we're going to try to open every single podcast with. What did you pause to come and do this podcast?
What did I pause?
So what did you pause? What did you stop watching, playing, reading, doing to come and do this podcast today?
I haven't really watched or read or played anything today. Well, I
in
played
general.
I played tennis this morning, and then I mowed
Tennis.
the lawn.
How did you love tennis? You love tennis? You're a tennis
I've
boy?
gotten into tennis. It's been a year now. Yeah,
You did a full year of tennis?
It's just about a year. Yeah, I think
Wow.
we started in July. I'm not really like a huge sports guy, as you know, or anything like that.
Did you play any sports growing up?
I played baseball, did a little bit of soccer, a little bit of basketball, and I played football in high school for a little bit. But not like, was never like super into sports.
Okay.
I haven't been as an adult either, but we just got into it, as a way to stay active, and it's been a lot of fun. Gotten really into it.
Tony, what did you pause to do this podcast?
Let's see, I was doing a few things. First, I was basically planning on B21 the show like a fiend. That was one of those things. Another is basically I am trying to start something. I'm trying to start like a code base for evaluating the accessibility of small websites, I think. That's my goal. I'm evaluating repositories on GitHub to see if there's already something similar to what I have. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Okay, so the smart one at the table is Tony.
Yeah, why'd you say I'm the
I don't know why I said
learned
you're the smart one.
He's
You're
the
the-
smart one, obviously.
I picked the wrong one for the learned one.
I'm a fucking
I'm a-
dumbass, dude.
I'm a programmer.
Tony's
Programmers knows GitHub, computer languages. I just happen to be smart in this one area. That doesn't necessarily mean I am smart in every other area.
This is true.
I'm an aspiring himbo.
Really? 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 Himbo?
I said aspiring.
aspiring.
I didn't say I was there yet.
Like Kronk from Emperor's Groove.
Never seen it. It's been a high contentious thing with my friends lately. And me,
Really?
I have sort of. I mean, we got into a kind of a Disney talk at work lately, and it's like, oh, well, I haven't seen these movies and these movies. Like, I haven't seen Emperor's New Groove or
Yeah, me.
Treasure Planet or
Oh, that one's good.
or Brother Bear. Most of like the re-renaissance of Disney. I haven't seen like most of it.
I think it's like the opposite. I think it's like, I don't know what that era is called, but that's like the
Dark
bad.
Ages?
Yeah, that's like a not good era.
People were like, this. That's like the Disney coming back into form.
No, the Renaissance is like 89 to 96.
No. I've been talking about like the second Renaissance, like Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Right. That's in the same
No, Brother
General
Bear
Era.
and Treasure
Brother Bear
Island. That's all
happened before
before
Princess
that.
and the Frog.
That's like late '90s. It's like after Mulan, but and then
Wow.
like before 2010 or whatever.
But anyway, I've always stayed away from Emperor's
Why do
New
I
Groove.
know so much?
Why do you
about
know so much?
Fucking Disney.
Jesus. You're a Disney nerd?
No.
You're going to count that too? Yeah.
No, please don't. No.
Proceeds to buy a Disney trivia board game on his phone.
So today's podcast is going to be a different one than what we are usually going to do. It's actually going to have a set topic because we just went through E3. Not we, because we're not part of the zeitgeist. We are just fans of video games and the like. And we are going to discuss the things that we saw from E3, things that we liked from E3, the things that we didn't like from E3, which I think are pretty obvious. And yeah, we're just going to talk about E3 for, however long this goes on for. But let's start off with the easy thing. What came out of E3 that you didn't? What in this E3, in this virtual E3 that we are now going through, didn't you like? What was bad about E3? Get that off the table right now.
Tony, you got something?
I have more notes for specifically for some of the presenters. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of surprised, truth be told, because I thought of our expectations of E3. It seems like a little bit of a change.
Yeah, I mean, so like I feel like my expectations were pretty low coming into it. I know I made some ballsy predictions, but
We
that
did,
was
which
just,
we'll get into. Well, we can probably get to that later.
we'll get to that. But
Trust me, we have a whiteboard behind us, and we basically just mark it off with
yeah.
like that.
Oh, there, yeah. That's just because I like throwing Hail Marys and seeing if they land. But yeah, I mean, my expectations I feel like were pretty low. And I feel like honestly, like it pretty much went how I expected.
Really?
So like I didn't feel like there was a whole lot, broadly speaking. There were certain announcements that I thought were pretty great. But yeah, I mean, overall, it wasn't like this big, showing. I felt like from anybody really. Nintendo's I liked, and they kind of do their thing now, where it's like you're gonna get a little taste of what's to come in the future, but you're mostly getting this is the cool stuff we have coming this year. Like, which I really like.
Right.
I like how they
Nintendo
do
loves
that.
focusing on actually what they're going to do very soon.
And I think it was last year Xbox announced like all these exclusives and all these studios that they have working on stuff. And it was all, pretty vague and stuff. And most of that we didn't really see anything about.
No.
And then what we did see, for some of that further off stuff was, kind of limited.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. It was mostly based on the pandemic and all that stuff. It mostly went how I expected, which was, not disappointing, but
Okay. Tony,
Just
what were your
kinda
expectations going into E3?
I generally I side with Mark. I thought it was lower because of the pandemic and the chip shortages and the consequences of everything. Combine that with the lack of next-gen consoles that are currently in the hands of gamers right now.
right.
So I totally get why my expectations were the way they were. In some ways, I feel like this E3 was probably much more humble.
Humble? How so?
Because not everything is on like a set stage, and because of the virtual events. Because I guess it could be because I'm just used to seeing someone like live on a stage all the time, like Jeff Keighley and all that. So maybe there was a sense of humility that I got that really wasn't there.
Okay.
Because, truth be told, I think for specific demonstrations or presentations, there were some not very humble ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, there were some weird flexes going on, if you know what I mean.
Good God. So that can lead to what I thought of E3. I kind of had the same feelings that you did, Mark. I wasn't expecting E3 to be as big as it has been before, pre-pandemic.
Right.
But I was expecting some more bigger things to be shown to get people, back in the hype of video games. Like, because all throughout the pandemic, video games have been a very very large part of getting people through this. It's the Switch as a whole with Animal Crossing and hell, what else came out?
New Pokemon Snap.
New Pokemon Snap, and just things like that. Like the video games as a whole were kind of pulling people through. And I was expecting
Among Us.
the big one for Among Us. I was expecting I was expecting E3 and the people who were slated to show at E3 to just give us a little bit of something that we could look forward to. And what we got was the two big hitters, Xbox, Microsoft, and Nintendo, actually doing something, whereas pretty much everybody else at E3 didn't need to be there because I don't think that they understand what an E3 show really means.
Oh, I think they understand. I think it's kind of like spinning the wheels, again, coming, I guess, out of the pandemic.
Sure.
But, it's kind of just spinning the wheels like, because I mean, things have obviously been slowed down,
Yes.
like work on things has obviously been slowed down. So, I think that it's really just like, hey, like don't stay excited, like
We're still
but
here.
they just have less to show because they're not going to show stuff that's not quite off the ground.
But that's
yet.
the problem, though, because okay, so we can.
I mean, isn't that
Yeah.
kind of the point of being for events like this? Is kind of like to tease.
to tease these things. But
Yeah.
but my problem, see, we can get into this, is that people like Square Enix and Ubisoft and Capcom and Gearbox, like they each of those conferences had nothing to show. Like
Yeah, I know.
some of them had like, okay, you gave us a little tidbit. Like Square gave us Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a pretty good looking game that I'm not going to play, but it was a good looking game.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like nothing else. You just showed us a bunch of crap. Like what?
Yeah.
And you didn't really show us anything. And then Capcom literally showed nothing. Like Capcom came out, then they showed a little bit of Monster Hunter and flew into Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney. Yeah.
And it was just like you didn't need to show any of that. Why?
Yeah.
Why? And it's just like I think that unfortunately Sony has been one of the driving forces to why a lot of these companies aren't showing a lot of E3, and that's just my speculation because it could be completely wrong. But I think that had Sony been there, and we had Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, and they come out the gates and say, Capcom doesn't need to have its own show. Square Enix, even though they usually have their own show, with what little they had to show this year, didn't have to have their own show. Gearbox, who really had zero to show, really didn't have to be there. They could have just said, okay, hey, Sony or Xbox, or I guess not Nintendo at this point, but hey, Sony or Xbox, here's the games that we have to show. We'll give you a little cut here, cut there, and you can just show your showcase.
Right.
And they wouldn't have had to show 30, 40 minutes of nothing.
And that seems like it's good for everybody because then you're riding on the coattails of everything else that everybody's getting hyped up for. So, like when Elden Ring or whatever showcases at an Xbox showcase, like that boosts it because there's other stuff around it, and it's going to help boost other things. And it just, because, Microsoft wins when Capcom wins, Sony wins when Gearbox wins or whatever. Like, it's a mutually beneficial thing. Sony doesn't necessarily win when Microsoft wins, but
Well, they
which
don't
I
think
think
so.
is why they're
Microsoft
not there.
thinks it the other way around.
I think that's might be the reason why they're not there. They're trying not to add to this. They're trying not to fuel their wings. It's just kind of
right. So coming off of that, so we can now go into what were the big things. Did anybody catch something out of E3 that shocked them? Not so the games that you weren't expecting to see at E3. Did anything come out of it that was like, oh, I really want to play that?
Elden Ring looks really cool. I know I have a lackluster history with FromSoft games, but they said they're making this one not. I don't know if they said easier, but
I doubt they said
I
easier.
know.
more
I highly
accessible.
doubt they said
No,
easier.
they didn't say easier, but yeah. And I don't know. The open world thing seems pretty cool.
Yeah, open world was it's a selling point for most games at this point. Tony,
Yeah.
any big hitters? Anything that came out of this that you weren't expecting to like? That's like, oh my god, that was pretty cool. I want to play that.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like a cross between Devil May Cry and like a dialogue choice game. The only thing I can think of was Mass Effect, considering the The similarities between the two?
I didn't get the Devil May Cry feel out of that.
Kind of, because the way it seems like the UI is kind of a little bit like at the top left, and like the top left of the screen had the life bar and the targeting and the guns. It kind of gave that vibe off to me, though. That is me.
For me, I had a big. It was early in the E3 week, if you will. Death's Door. It looked really, really, really cool. It's a kind of a Hyper Light Drifter, Zelda-ish, Hollow Knight looking game. I think it's coming out relatively soon. I think it's later in the summer, I believe. And that looked really, 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 really cool. Anything else?
Oh, was that at the Devolver one? They
Yeah.
had some really cool.
Devolver had a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
showed at Jeff Keighley's thing at first, and then it was a develop. What do you call it? The Day of the Devs, I believe it showed at as well.
Yeah.
It showed a lot actually.
Yeah.
And that was one of the few games that was shown again and again. And again, like, yeah, show me more. I want more. I need more. So a couple of. I mean, well, we already knew Flight Simulator was coming out. Hades coming to Xbox was something that was big for me. I was waiting for that forever. Metroid Dread was a big shocker to me.
Right. Were you Tony? Were you surprised it was a 2D Metroid and not Prime 4 that was shown?
The best way for me to put it is basically, I didn't know, but I did not care.
Right. Really? It looks cool. I watched like their Treehouse Live for that game. And yeah, it looks really
It's really,
fun.
really, really cool and fun. So you don't care for it?
No, I didn't care if it was going to be Metroid Prime or a 2D Metroid.
Oh, you just
No,
you
I
just
think he
wanted a
means
Metroid.
yeah. He
Yeah,
just
that's
wanted
what I meant.
Metroid
Gotcha,
something.
gotcha.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is a Metroid game. That's
I've-
what matters to me. And
So-
not to mention
and they-
since I watched the Kind of Funny, I watched the Kind of Funny reaction to Nintendo. Basically, I think it was, I forget. It's like Tim, I believe.
It was probably Tim.
He basically said, they announced this in 2004. And I almost wanted to put ... in my notes. 16 years later. Well, actually
Yeah.
17 years later. But like, holy crap, Nintendo. It's not, I know you've been busy, but Metroid's a flagship franchise.
I've been seeing some discourse on the internet about it. Obviously, I think the Metroid fans out there are, they're very like, yes, okay, they gave us something Metroid. Thank God. We've been dying for something Metroid. But I have been seeing people are like, well, great, but this isn't Prime. Like, okay, I mean, you got to take it where you can get it.
Oh yeah. No, I think it seems
kinda
like
feels-
people are
that
very
feels like
yeah.
that seems like a little bit of entitlement,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term. You're like, it's been 16 years since the game was announced. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, how long has it been since a Metroid game has actually come out?
There was
Prime
one on the
3? No, the new the one that came out for the 3DS. What, a couple years ago? That was the
Samus
latest.
Returns.
Yeah, Samus Returns.
Metroid 2. So I think that would put it to 2017 or 2018, and even then, that was still a remake of a
Right.
Metroid game that already exists. We're talking about like a new one. If you really want to go that far off, you have to go back to Other M. And
Which was a horribly rated game.
that was 2010, 2011, something along those lines.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, yeah, no, if anything, it seems like the reaction has been extreme excitement for this game. And they still said that they're working on Prime 4. I think it got mentioned.
Yeah, they did.
They
mention
didn't
it.
show anything, I don't think. But
No, they didn't show
But-
anything about Prime.
but yeah, so they are still working on that too. So, yeah. So, hey.
Anything that they can do to recreate that sense of dread from Metroid that a Metroid Fusion managed to create with the SRX Parasite, I'm absolutely for, because that's one of the reasons why Fusion is one of the best Metroid games ever made, at least in my opinion.
Okay, so I'm going to go down the list here of, we're not going to touch on literally everything that was shown because that
List time,
be
yay.
ridiculous. Why would we do that? But
Oh,
we're
by
going
the
to
way-
start with, go ahead.
Do you get the sense that Jeff Keighley is trying to make a competing event or complementary event to E3? Because truth be told, you could make a really good case that there should be almost like an E3 event or a day completely dedicated to AA devs, so to speak, for games.
So, okay, so we don't need to do this list then because here's my thing. Here's
We're
how
canceling the list.
canceling
people.
the list
For all the
Screw
people
the list.
excited for the list reading
You
portion.
really wanted to see. You don't want to see this list. Okay, my feelings are.
I want facts.
In it, I don't have facts. I've got none of that. My feelings are an E3 should have been, in a perfect world, E3 would have been, you start off with Jeff. I mean, Jeff Keighley is not a part of E3 necessarily because he wants to do his own thing. But Jeff Keighley opens up E3. He shows, a bunch of trailers, maybe not, big drops. He doesn't show, Breath of the Wild because people are going to expect that or hope to see that at a Nintendo showcase. He's not going to show Halo Infinite, but he's going to show some trailers from some bigger name games like, oh, here's what you could expect at this E3 or you should be expecting at this E3 and the sizzle reel here, sizzle reel there. And then Jeff goes into, okay, so for this first day, opening of E3 is all about indie games and all these games that you can pretty much play on almost any other platforms. And that would be a whole first day. You wouldn't get your Capcoms and your Devolvers, and well, you might get your Devolvers. Devolver's going to do their own thing no matter what. But you would get all that on day one. Whereas day two, you would hit with, okay, here's Microsoft. Microsoft's going to do their whole thing. Everything's on Game Pass, which, by the way, Microsoft freaking killed it because everything is on Game Pass.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Game
they're
Pass
doubling.
thing.
To be fair, they are doubling down on their strength. They absolutely are.
Yeah, and it's
It's a really
honestly,
good. It's a really
yeah.
good tactic.
It's a it just makes sense, and I think it's just a great service too.
I
Not
think-
this isn't an ad for Game Pass.
Yeah, trust me. Either way, I don't. The only thing that really stuck out for like Xbox is basically Halo Infinite. So
Controversial.
I have a controversial opinion. Halo Infinite didn't look that great still
Yeah.
to me, in my opinion.
know.
And but different from how it was shown last summer, where it looked like, ooh, that does not look good. This time I saw it and I said to myself, okay, that doesn't look great, but it looks like Halo. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all it has to do. It doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to be, God of War style graphics. It doesn't need to be, Last of Us style story. It just needs to be Halo. It did not look fantastic. It just looked like Halo, and that's
Yeah.
all it had to be, honestly.
It is weird though, considering the prestige that series has to kind of like have it now. It's just like it looks good enough.
Yeah.
well, the funny thing is that wouldn't you think that like a Microsoft run dev studio would have a little bit more insight on how to get their console to maximize?
But what are they going to
Everything?
do though? See, I think that's the thing that becomes the problem, right? Like if they dove into it and tried to make Halo look like the simulation style shooter, or Call of Duty with beefed up graphics, it wouldn't look like Halo anymore. Like if you look at Halo 1, 2, and 3, they all look like this very not cartoonized, but very similar style of glow up in the resolution and graphical age. And then you get to Halo 4 and 5 where it's like, okay, it looks a lot better, but it's still Halo. It still has that Halo thing about it. If they go any deeper into now we have the most powerful system and you can make these graphics, like if you looked at this Master Chief and was like, oh my God, you can see every little detail on that armor. It'd be like, that's weird. I don't know if
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if I want that.
Right, and I don't think. Yeah, I feel like. I mean, I wouldn't say that we're past the point of caring about graphics,
I think we should be.
but like we're like some of the biggest games do not necessarily have like the flashiest, most like hyper realistic, looking. Think of like stuff like Overwatch or Fortnite or like those games are not like it's not as it's not as much of a thing as it was like 10 years ago.
Definitely.
Like the PS3, Xbox 360 era, the console fanboy wars over graphics then were insufferable. We're kind of over that in a lot of ways, kind
almost.
of. Now it's more like performance and stuff like that.
Which
people
they're
care about.
negligible at this point. Like, what's the point? Like, they both look almost identical. Anyway,
Yeah, right. You want a game to look good, obviously.
you want a game to look good, but you don't have to. They don't have to look. It doesn't have to look spectacular. It just has to look good.
Still look and play like Halo.
Still look and play like Halo. But it would, but to continue on, it would be, then you'd have a day of not a day, but you have a couple hours of Microsoft going into here's these games that we
Whole
have.
day.
Whole day, one whole 24 hours. Microsoft, get it in gear. No, you'd have a few hours of. Here's everything coming to Game Pass. And here's these other games that are going to be on other systems, but they'll look great here on Xbox. And then you can close out that day just being like, we had our Xbox. And maybe even at the end of that day, you have more your Square Enixes and other things like that. But then you lead into Sony. I know Sony is no longer at E3, but again, this is my perfect world E3, where you would have Sony coming out and showing, here's the hardware that we have. Here's some new, here's a PSVR 2, and here's more controller types, and here's replaceable plates for your PS5 because we made them that way, but we didn't want to tell everybody we made them that way, even though we told everybody we made them that way. Whatever.
And here's
Anyway.
Bloodborne 2.
I would love that.
I wanted Bloodborne too, but Sony's nowhere to be
I
found.
was rooting for you, buddy. I really did.
I know.
I would also say Keely's first day delivered one hell of drop kicks.
I think Keely's first day was a very sorry.
Elden Ring?
It was unrealistic to what we could have expected out of this E3 because it was.
That's the thing. I kind of feel like to some extent the Summer Game Fest thing kind of set a pace that E3 couldn't keep up.
We had we started off with Tiny Tina's Battle Wonder, not Battle Wonder, we're in whatever her Dungeons and Dragons video game, and we just had peaks and valleys, not even valleys, just like, okay, here's a good game, and here's
Hideo Kojima.
anyway, here's a good
Your
game,
favorite?
and
Yeah, by
here's
the way,
some other games.
By the way, doesn't it kind of seem like, especially since they should be making it, Kojima needs to be busy working on his next IP or next game. Seems like flexing on Jeff's part. He's bringing out Kojima almost every time. I mean,
it's
it
clear.
seems like
I'm friends with this guy.
Right.
See?
It's clear that they're friends, right?
Yeah, it's
And-
like it
And
seems
I think
like
that's great.
It's like name dropping.
Wouldn't you want to hang out with
It's a
your
little bit of
friend?
name dropping.
What are we
bit.
doing right
I
now?
don't want to hang out with you.
It's like a little bit of name dropping, a little bit of flexing. A little bit.
Yeah.
But he flexed
Well, by Jeff, you mean?
by Jeff
Like
and
saying,
Yeah,
look
by-
at my
by
cool
Jeff.
friend. Which is hilarious because that's exactly what Kojima does when he's taking pictures with Norman Reedus and
yeah.
fuck, what's that?
Here's my cool friends. The other guy in Death Stranding. Oh,
guy
was it-
from Casino Royale. He plays
Casino Royale. I was thinking of somebody else. You mean Mads Mikkelsen?
Mads Mikkelsen. That's
I was thinking of
Le Chiffre.
there's so many cool pictures of
Le
it.
Chiffre. Either way, it's probably one of the reasons why they like each other. Is that they do flex.
Yeah.
well, Jeff doesn't flex in the way that Hideo Kojima flexes, and I don't like the way Hideo Kojima flexes. I'm
We
not a fan.
Let's not get into that.
Not a fan of how Hideo. Anyway,
We'll have another special podcast.
I would like
Probably.
to.
Ooh, that'd
I
be
would like
fun.
specifically say I would like a cup that's exactly made in the Konami's Tears version that Kojima had.
I could probably get that cup.
I'm gonna befriend Hideo Kojima and then invite him over sometime.
Mark,
Just to
you're
fuck with
already followed by Barack Obama on Twitter. Don't make this worse
Right.
for me.
I forgot. Thank you for reminding me.
God,
I have to tweet him
I
later.
hate to shut up.
Yeah, that's the thing. All things considered, though, this Axiom Verge 2,
Axiom Verge 2.
which was, I was like, finally. And then
We saw a little bit of that. Not last. I guess last year we did see a little bit of it, and it was just nowhere to be found after that. Of course, a big missing, a big one missing that was said to be missing from the show was Hollow Knight Silksong, which
yeah, truth be told,
hurts my feelings a lot.
wasn't the second Hollow Knight game supposed to come out like a while ago?
Okay, we're gonna dive into this.
Wasn't it originally DLC and then they decided to make
It was
the whole
originally DLC
Then it diverged.
that they made way too much stuff for. That they're like, you know what, we're gonna make it its own game, and I'm like, cool,
See, I get that.
that's great, and it's awesome, fantastic, and then it never came out. It just keep making
is Hollow
more
Knight
and more
2018?
for it. Why don't you just release this goddamn? All right, anyway,
Because they want to make the best. You're going to be happy once it comes out.
You're absolutely
gonna
right.
have
I'm
a
gonna be
hard-
so happy when it comes.
I really do wonder how the heck you're gonna edit that with the the sound, considering.
Yeah, I looked at it. It's fine. It's bad. I'll see what I can do.
But
Blue line go wide.
yeah, Axiom Verge 2, because that game really that game really stuck with me. That really did.
Axiom Verge was such a weird game. It's such a Super Metroid, but in a not the same way that I usually use this term, but in a Dark Souls and Bloodborne type way, where nothing is told to you. You just have to figure it out. And it was one of the first games that I ever played like that, because that's before I really got into Dark Souls and whatnot. And I got it in the game and it's like, what am I doing? Where am I? What this gun? What's happening? And I finished that game. I'm like, I have no idea what happened. I just beat this game and I don't know anything about it. And it was weird. But it's a good game. I like it. It's fun.
The multiple endings. There's multiple endings too. That doesn't help.
That does not help at all. Not at all.
Which one's canon? You'll never know.
We got some other good games. We got Solar Ash, which was by the team that made
Say that again?
Solar Ash. Solar
Definitely. said-
Solar Ass is what Mark heard. I
That's what I
guarantee that's
heard.
what he heard. The studio that made Hyper Light Drifter, which looked pretty good. Elden Ring,
Oh
obviously you
yeah.
saw.
I wanted to. I have Hyper Light Drifter. I was really.
Hyper Light Drifter.
I really want to see how Solar Ash plays out. There were a surprising amount of indie games that I really liked out of this.
There's horseback combat in Elden Ring.
Yes, there is.
That's cool.
That's actually kind of cool.
The
That's
world building looks
Wow,
so
that's
cool.
actually gonna be
a first for a Souls game, as far as I know.
yeah.
Soulsborne games really.
I mean, in Sekiro, you weren't on horseback, but some of the enemies
You
were.
fought that one. There's
Yeah,
that one guy.
There were boss fights.
Gyobo Masataka Oniwa.
Thank you, Mark.
I remember his name because every time you fight him, he shouts it. I beat him though. I beat him eventually.
That
Every
was
time the fight starts,
that was amazing.
he tells you his
It
name.
just came out of nowhere.
I have to dive back into that on my PS5. Maybe I'll play better. Who knows? Then we had again. We're just gonna hit the big top ones of the shows. We had Axiom Verge 2, which Tony mentioned, a musical story, which looked pretty.
It's like the
cool.
fifth time you've
I
mentioned
know.
Axiom Verge.
I know.
Because it's a good.
Let me
it's a-
see this
it's a
list. What's going on
fantastic-
here?
It's a fantastic game.
It just says this is Axiom Verge about six
Axiom
more
Verge 2,
times.
Axiom Verge 2,
Yeah, this,
Axiom Verge
and missing Hollow Knight Silksong. It's just repeated over and over and over again.
Elden Ring and Axiom Verge 2.
Death's Door, which I've already mentioned. Loot River, which looked like a very interesting puzzle style slasher game, which is weird. Looked really fun. Loot River.
LOT.
That's the one.
Oh,
Not like the medieval instrument. Loot.
so like
What
it
were you
seems
playing?
Like
I don't know what I
It seems like a potential twist
you
on
know what
like
a
a
loot
loot box.
is?
No.
That
Is
seems
this
like
one? I don't know.
that seems like a twist on loot box there or something.
A game from called Super Pot. Did anybody see Super Pot? No,
Super Pot.
Super Pot. Look, the gameplay didn't look very good to me. Didn't give a shit. The food in that game just looked great.
Oh, you
Like,
love. I was referencing the Food Wars when you were telling me about that show.
That's a callback.
Is that the food porn show? Yeah.
That is the food porn show. Yes, that is the food porn show. Akatori
Food looks so good.
was a side scroller Metroidvania combo style game. BPM bullets per minute was a first person shooter that you shoot on beat, which was really weird. Looked really cool though. Really,
So
really,
it's
really
a combination of a rhythm game and a first-person shooter.
good. Yep.
That's a very
That
cool
actually,
combo.
that actually could work a lot better than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I'm actually
hoping so.
surprised.
I'm kind of
nobody's,
surprised
like,
it took this long for
Yeah.
someone to come with that.
Honestly.
Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope looked really, really, really fun, which was leaked by Nintendo before the Ubisoft presentation, which was weird.
Yeah. Whoops.
We had Devolver Digital doing Devolver Digital things.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. About first off,
ahead.
about Ubisoft.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. We kind of just flew
Yeah,
right by that.
I flew right over it. But go
Oh
ahead.
yeah, Rainbow Six.
If you
Sorry,
want to.
I'm interrupting your.
This is one of those things where it was more of the same. Like they really are they're doubling and tripling down on games as a service.
Yeah.
They
Is-
really are.
Is Aliens in your Rainbow Six? Is that more of the same to you?
Have you read Tom Clancy
I just
novels?
hate that shit so much.
What? How long is Siege? How long is Siege?
Siege has been out, what? We're probably going on 7-8 years or more.
Oh,
That's
I don't know about that long.
Either way,
It's good.
it's used in
6
it's
years.
used in esports. It's got a long life.
Yeah.
Like it is getting to the point of it's getting almost to the point of Counter Strike.
I guess I'm never gonna see Rainbow Six Vegas 3, huh?
I actually would like to see that.
I like the Vegas games. They're really good.
It came out in 2015.
Oh wow, so it is.
Yeah, that's a-
6
that-
years.
6 years.
But again, it's just like, why are we? It just seems like I don't know. It's
Well, the thing is, like, it looked good. Actually, not Siege. Extraction looked decent to me as a person who doesn't like PvP style, shooters. I don't give a shit about PvP. But as it could be a 3-man team or however many man team going up against hordes of enemies, that seemed fun to me.
Yeah, it just seems weird to have it be Rainbow Six. But
Yeah, it probably
Also-
didn't need the Rainbow Six name. Okay.
I feel like something like Back for Blood would probably fill that void better.
Which was the problem. Back for Blood is probably going to demolish that game.
Yeah, because if we're talking people who made Left 4 Dead and people are still clamoring for Left 4 Dead 3, almost like people are clamoring for Half-Life 3. Though, frankly, you
Right.
could say, you could at least give a passing reference to Halo Infinite, but
What do we get next? Devolver Digital doing their Devolver Digital thing. Did you have something to say about Devolver?
I thought their show was good, like the stuff they showed.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the shtick is a little old.
Really? You're done with the shtick?
Yeah.
I think it's
love the
I
stick.
I don't think they're gonna stop doing
No,
it. and
God,
they
no.
probably shouldn't stop doing it. I just am kind of like, okay,
I think it is part satire. It's very much a satire, like
Yeah,
on how video game presentations are done, but it's to the point where it's also part wrestling promo.
yeah,
Like it's over the top.
It just,
Right.
And
Devolver
it's self-aware, over the top.
Devolver says and does what everybody else is afraid to do. That's all it is to
and
me.
it's cool. Yeah, I know. I'm probably nitpicking.
Because it's just like, look, here's the thing about
I can be
Devolver to me.
persuaded to think whatever you want me to think.
It's probably good. Here's the thing about Devolver Digital to me. Devolver Digital is like, you see all these other conferences that are clean cut and we're gonna stick to a script and no swearing and we're not gonna show anything weird. They're gonna show everything has to be clean and polished and ready. Devolver's like, fuck that. What do we got in the back? Huh? You want to sell a tape? You want to do an NFT? I can't remember what the hell they called it, but like this very special tape that sold out instantly, by the way. And you want to just have a showcase of these weird games. The first time I saw a Devolver Digital showcase, I thought all their games were fake. I didn't understand what I was watching. Like, that
Yeah.
can't be real. There's no way that's a real fucking game. Oh my god! And then I'm watching every single one now. I'm like, these are all real games, and that's awesome. It seems to me like the people who go to work for Devolver are the real people who are like, I have this game to make, and Devolver's like, we'll give you the money to make that game. I don't care what it looks like. And that's great. I love Devolver Digital. I hope to God, and they should hope that there is no toxicity in their workplace, because the way that they show these E3 conferences makes it seem like so weird there that if one thing goes wrong, that whole studio just goes down a drain. So I'm just hoping
Right.
everything's fine. Anyway,
Speaking of
Yeah.
games they make, Trek to Yomi.
Trek to Yomi was. Did you see Trek to
Yeah.
Yomi?
Yes, that was.
Oh my God.
Looked like a 50s samurai movie.
When they first
Yeah.
it first popped up on screen, I'm like, oh, that's just like a clip from a samurai movie. It's a game.
That was really cool. Yeah.
What the hell?
A lot, yeah. That was the first one. Like, I'm like, oh shit, that looks awesome. And then, like, honestly, like half the shit they showed, I'm like, this looks fucking cool. Yeah, like
Yeah.
just the art direction, a lot of that stuff looked great.
By the way, I'm also getting really behind this idea that there really should be like a rule of thumb when it comes to displaying games. Only gameplay trailers, no cinematics.
I mean, you can get away with that depending on the game. Honestly,
Kind of tired of seeing the cinematic. I,
mean,
want to actually see the real.
I'm with
the
you.
real deal.
I'm with you. At some point, you keep seeing these cinematics for shit that it's like, all right, I've seen the same cinematic trailer for the last 3 years, 2 years, or however many conferences just this week. It's like, okay, I've seen enough. Let's just get to it. But I think the hype behind the cinematic trailer, like the first time you're going to see God of War in a cinematic trailer, you're going to be hyped. It's going to be like, oh my God, let's go. Like, and I think that kind of stuff is very necessary.
Literally, admittedly, the first time I saw like the most recent God of War stuff was their E3 presentation.
Well, yeah, sure.
And that was a gameplay. And the orchestra.
Was it a gameplay?
Yeah, it was gameplay. It was 100% gameplay.
I think you're right. I vaguely remember it, but
Yeah,
you
it was
might
the
be right.
orchestra. There was a female there was the female singer and it was just like I'd have to show it to you because
I'll have to watch it again later. So then we had the Xbox showcase, which showed their just Game Pass. Just say Xbox
Yeah.
Game Pass done. But out of the Xbox showcase, what were your thoughts on Starfield?
I would
What-
like
what
to have seen gameplay.
Yeah, I was about to say, what is there to what was there to display? I mean, it really was just
It gave me honestly
Nothing.
very
No
little.
impression.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm still excited based on like the concept of the game and what we've heard about it, but that trailer gave me nothing to work with.
I'm less excited now after seeing that trailer than I was before, because before I was just like Tony said, I saw not even a cinematic trailer. It's just like, oh, Starfield, like, okay, that could be cool. And I saw that, I'm like, but I don't know what this game is.
kind of bland in that
Yeah,
trailer.
I don't know what I'm getting.
Here's my thing.
It's like a soulless Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Soulless Outer Worlds.
Here's my rub here.
Ooh, this is a
What
rub.
will Starfield do differently from the Outer Worlds or something like that?
Probably
nature?
nothing.
I would guess it's gonna have less of the
Quirkiness.
quirkiness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not and some of the way Obsidian has that like commentary in
Mm-hmm.
the Outer Worlds. I think that'll probably be mostly absent from something like Starfield, just based on most of Bethesda's games. I know they make Fallout, which but I don't necessarily see as much of that. But yeah, I don't know like how fantastical is it? Like is this hard sci-fi? Is this space opera? Like I can't I have no idea based on that trailer like really like what it's gonna be like.
Do they want to go in the direction of space opera though?
I
Because
want
that's
space
Mass Effect.
fantasy. That would be fun.
That would be Mass Effect territory.
I don't think they're going space fantasy.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
think they're going
I would
space
have
fantasy at
preferred
all.
that.
You see, it's more like I
wanted
wouldn't
Elder
want to
Scrolls
see
in space.
Starfield become basically Fallout in space.
Yeah, right. I feel like it's gonna be Fallout in space. What I wanted was Elder Scrolls in space.
Okay, so that's perfect. That's exactly what I was kind of going for. Because if it was
Which
if it's-
direction is it going into?
if it was going to be Fallout in space, I was going to say that's a boring game to me. Which I'm
Yeah.
not. That's just
That's
for me.
the Outer
Just-
Worlds.
just to me.
Which
Well,
is also a Xbox exclusive.
but the Outer Worlds. But the Outer Worlds is more quirky.
yeah.
In my, I mean, not in
Oh,
my opinion,
yes,
it really
yes.
is. So that's when you say the Elder Scrolls,
that studio has pedigree from the Fallout series
right.
as well.
Which is why when you say the Elder Scrolls in space, I'm like, that's what I would want more.
Yeah.
I want something that's not 100%
I want
grounded
elves in space, man.
Also,
I want orcs in space.
Orcs in
Just
space?
go
Also,
play Warhammer, I guess.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's entirely pedigree. Granted, Fallout New Vegas, great game, still buggy as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying they have, but that game, Fallout New Vegas, I understand. You know, it had a lot of issues, especially at launch. A lot of people's fond opinions of it come from things like the writing and the world building and the quests and everything in that game, which that is still very much alive in things like the Outer Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to be fair.
And the Outer Worlds is a much more consistent, you know, less buggy affair than New Vegas, which is not entirely their fault because they were it was forced out.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's always been their, you know, it was same with KOTOR 2.
Yeah, I was about to bring up KOTOR 2 because it's one of the
Obsidian
reasons
as
why
well.
Obsidian knows what they're doing. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of well, I really don't know if ZeniMax knows what it's gonna do with Starfield.
Yeah. I'm a little iffy.
The only thing
I really hope we see Elder Scrolls 6 soon.
you won't.
It's a few years off.
I mean,
know.
you might see it at XE3, maybe.
No,
but probably
I don't
not even
think
then.
so. I know. I just want that.
the only
Can
thing-
they just make that game instead.
The only thing that I can
Play
probably
Morrowind.
give to he has. The only thing I can give to them out of so this whole Bethesda and Starfield thing and even Fallout, just this Bethesda thing in general, to me, it feels like because they are now owned by Microsoft. I think that their games have the potential to be more polished than they ever were before because Microsoft can look at them and say, look, we want you to finish this game. We don't want all the bugs and the Bethesda charm out of it. No, we want you to finish this game. And Bethesda's like, yeah, because we don't have to think about all the other crap that we had to do before. We can just do the game and you guys can do all the other shit for us. So that's the only thing that I can really maybe look forward to when they do Starfield and eventually Elder Scrolls 6. So I'm not looking forward to Starfield. I hope it's a great game. I will probably play it when it comes out if I'm still alive by but
I'm still alive. It's coming out. Wait, Starfield? It's coming out next year.
what I have written down.
Oh no.
Probably
November
Elder
11th,
Scrolls
2022.
That's right. All right, 2022. That's next
It's
year.
a
I'm sorry.
year. A year and a half from now. I hope you're still alive.
I hope
Yeah,
so.
I'm about to say you're mistaking Starfield for Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that we might all be dead for. The only thing,
Okay.
it wasn't talked about at all this year, but Obsidian is also working on a first-person fantasy open world RPG called Avowed. I think a lot of
right.
a lot of people missed this last
Forgot
year,
about that.
which is set in their can't remember the game world. Pillars of Eternity. It's set in the same world as that, which might come out before Elder Scrolls 6. So something to look forward to if you're into that same type of game. But they didn't talk about it all this year, so who knows how far for that.
Also, a couple things.
So they didn't talk about Fable 4.
Who knew that Xbox was releasing new content for Sea of Thieves, and who knew that Bethesda still hadn't given up from Fallout 76? I did not know.
Sea of Thieves is alive and well.
See if these
And
fine.
apparently Fallout 76 is too.
No, hold on. No,
I haven't played
let's back
it.
up.
I've honestly never played
I want
Fallout
to
76.
reverse this train hard. First off, Sea of Thieves, fine. Everybody, you can love Sea of Thieves. I hope Sea of Thieves does well.
I want to play it.
They need to
More.
kill Fallout 76.
Oh.
It needs to die.
You should play.
I don't
Yeah,
say that
was
in
cursed.
any.
That was cursed from the beginning.
I don't say that with any real vitriol because I don't have any stake
literally
in it.
just said kill it.
Yeah, you kill
and
it.
then
Kill
you
it.
say I don't say that with any vitriol.
Kill it. You know what?
went,
There's kill it. Kill it. There's my vitriol. I
I
had
saw your
vitriol.
face. There was
Kill
definitely
it.
vitriol. Whatever that
Desire
word.
is irrelevant.
So anyway, continuing on, we had the Microsoft Flight Simulator, which I can't wait to play because I love flying. Halo Infinite was shown. Halo's a multiplayer was shown, which looks pretty. Halo. It's just Halo.
What's Halo?
What's Halo? It's this thing. It's a ring.
Oh,
That's just a ring.
oh, cool.
It's just a ring.
Like Sonic.
Like Sonic. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
You understand Halo. Hades was shown 12 minutes. Everybody remember that? Everybody remember 12 minutes from 2 years ago? No? Okay. Let's move on then. Square Enix came and went like a wet fucking fart.
I would still
Is that
say.
a cue?
I was about to say.
Ooh, nice.
About to say.
can delete that later.
They sold hard. They sold hard on Guardians of the Galaxy. And
Which
I'm
looks
buying it
good.
because anything. I like Guardians of the Galaxy for some reason. Of all the Marvel things that of all the things Marvel's come out for some reason, Guardians of the Galaxy really resonates with me.
Nobody's talked about the Final Fantasy Origin game.
Oh, right,
That looked
right.
kinda
that looked
not
bad.
great.
But see, here's the
It
thing.
looked very dull.
That seems like Devil May Cry, too.
It looked bad.
Devil's gonna cry because
But-
this game looks like shit.
But I have a huge turnaround. in
It's
this.
Team Ninja,
not
right?
me. I
Making
think
it?
so.
Yeah, it should be good. Right.
Here's the thing.
There's a
Everybody,
lot of pedigree that studio.
Everybody
Speaking
saw
of-
that
I'm just gonna keep
trailer.
using that word. That's
everybody saw the trailer. It looked like dog shit. And again, for some reason, a Square Enix staple is that the sound mixing in their fucking trailers is awful.
yeah.
But it looked bad, and the acting looked pretty damn bad. But everybody who's played that demo said it's really fucking good, which is really weird. And I have to play the demo soon. And it's,
Yeah, I think it's working now.
Yeah.
There was problems with that.
they say it plays the way they said it plays, but the way that they showed it didn't look like that at all. It looked like Devil May Cry, but the way that people are saying it played more like
Dark Souls.
not
Neo,
Dark Souls, Neo. That's the one, Neo.
which is
Nier?
Neo.
Oh, Neo.
which is a Souls like.
Yeah,
which is
I have
Also made by.
I have both Neo games.
Right. So I'm not excited for the game because I am tired of the Square Enix Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts anime style story that they keep fucking telling. It's really annoying. It's really bad. I can't stand it. It's just bad.
The what?
The anime style, like
Oh yeah.
and all that fucking bullshit.
Yeah, fuck anime, right, Mike?
No.
Yeah. By the way,
I get what you mean. I thought they were doing like a Kingdom Heartsy kind of.
By the way,
thing.
Legend
Maybe
of
they are.
Mana
Legend of Mana?
looks good.
Is that the one that they're doing in the Octopath Traveler style?
I think so.
Okay, so that leads me to my next point. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster will not be done in that style. And that is very, very disconcerting because it's just an up-res 8-bit style. From what from all the stuff that I've read, it's just okay. We made those pretty pixels prettier, and there you go.
They're doing 1 through 6, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're going to be on mobile.
Yeah.
Why are they doing mobile gaming so hard? Like really?
Because makes a lot of
Probably
money.
a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
it's probably a lot of money. It's going to be on mobile and Steam, but we've seen what they've done for their mobile games, and they haven't been good.
Well, I guess maybe it's an effort to fix because I think the current ones that they had out there were criticized for the art style that were available on mobile and Steam
Which one? Wait, which one do you
for
mean?
1 through 6.
Oh, well, they were just the original games.
No,
Or
they
weren't.
No, the sprites were weird looking.
But
They
I
look
think-
like shit.
I think that might be what they're going for, though.
I think they're. Well, I don't know.
If they might be better,
I think
but
they're
not-
trying to improve,
but not
that.
by much.
It's okay.
I think some. Nah,
Is
you know,
that
we're
somebody
not
at the
gonna-
door? Or
No.
Yeah.
At the back door.
Yeah. By the way, I mean, I played Final Fantasy. I played.
Get
Final,
it?
I get it.
I played Final. I played Final Fantasy 4 or Final Fantasy 4 on Steam when they had the. I think they like upres and I think they redid the entire game for the Game Boy Advance or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I think they just took the Game Boy Advance one and then they mobile gamified it, and then they ported that to Steam.
Weird.
Yeah. So anyway, that shit happened. The Square Enix shit happened. Then we get to the final showing of E3, which was Nintendo. And Nintendo showed us Metroid Dread, which looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a Metroid game, Mark?
I have played a little bit of Super Metroid.
Okay.
And I've played games of its ilk.
You played Metroidvania.
Metroidvanias.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay. Gotcha.
I know that term.
I
I was attempting to not say
Not
that.
say it. You didn't want to say it.
I was a bit bummed at first because it was like halfway through Nintendo's presentation before my interest was piqued. When they first started off with adding Kazuya to,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Smash
I
thing.
don't
which they
care
always
about
do.
Smash.
Smash Ultimate, which, all things considered, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are still playing Smash Ultimate.
Oh, I know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because what? It was 2015, I think? 2014 or 15. One of those.
What?
When Smash 5 was released.
When the Switch came out, maybe a little bit after it came out, right?
No, I think it came out before the Switch did.
But yeah, the whole Smash look, Smash can do what Smash does.
Oh, then I'm probably conflating some things. My mistake. There may have been another Smash game. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of things.
Wait, are you talking about the one that was on Wii U or what?
That was Brawl.
Yeah. What?
Wait, what are we
I
asking?
don't know what the. It didn't come out in 20.
What's
I'm
the question?
I am wondering. It is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, right?
Uh-huh.
That was released for the 3DS?
Yes.
Okay. So I am thinking of the game that I thought I was thinking of. So my mistake. I was the one who botched that one.
Came out in 2018. I think that's what we were asking. I think that's what we're asking. I'm not sure. Well, it came out in 2018.
Moving
The
on.
one for the Switch, right?
Fine. The Smash Ultimate is Switch and 3DS. Yes. Okay, moving on.
We don't move on. I'm gonna smash
But
Please don't threaten me, sir.
that laptop over there.
two notable things. Mm-hmm. Nothing about the Switch Pro.
I didn't expect. I didn't expect it.
Ooh.
Even though they kept saying it wasn't going to be shown, and I was hoping that they would be like, "Oh, we lied," because that's what they do. But I didn't. I actually didn't expect it. I
My
really didn't.
favorite of Mike's brave takes.
Oh, God.
did not come true.
Oh, God, what was
which
my brave take?
Game Pass for Switch.
Oh, I've been begging for that for like
Which
3
I
years.
I love it as an idea, especially because it's just so brave, and I think it's cool, and I think it could happen. I'm not as confident in it happening as you seem to be, but yeah, it didn't happen.
About to say, Nintendo's probably the best to do that, but considering how well it does with NES and SNES games, maybe it's doable. Maybe it's doable for them.
I don't know. There's a part of me that's like it could happen, and there's a part of me that's like no way could that happen.
Yeah, it seems like it's either one extreme or the other here. It's either going to be a disaster or it's going to be genius.
I'm sure Microsoft would love it.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Nintendo would go for it.
I disagree. I think Nintendo would go for it. I just don't think Nintendo's in the spot where they're like, yeah, we'll do that right now. Like, we obviously know that Sony is like, fuck no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to put your stuff on our console because Sony wants to be a walled garden in a way. But
Well, they're
Maria,
they're
so to speak.
they're direct competitors, you know.
right,
They're selling the same product.
but Nintendo famously doesn't look at themselves as competitors to Microsoft or Sony.
Right.
And I think that shows through a lot when you see what was it? Was it last year or the year before where they released Ori and the Blind Forest on Switch? And I thought that was the gateway to be like, this is it.
And then Cuphead.
And then Cuphead, and this is it. They're going to be like, okay, we gave you 2 Microsoft games. How about Game Pass? And I think right now Nintendo is in this spot where they're like, look, we're winning. We really are. I mean, versus both of you guys, we're not really in competition, but we're winning. So we don't really need it. But at some point, I do believe they're going to be like, sure.
I mean,
we'll take
Sony's winning.
right now, Xbox is winning. Sony believes they're winning.
Sony won
Yes.
and believes they will win. Right. Oh, Xbox is it outselling PS5?
No. Well, no.
You mean
In terms of hype and everything going on, I believe
Yeah.
Xbox is winning.
right.
I think Sony tends to think that, well, we won before. We're just going to do it again.
Right.
I think that's all Sony's really going through right now. I think that's all they're thinking.
With that said, though, considering Sony's exclusives, can totally get why they're being a little bit quiet.
What do you mean? That they don't have many to show right now?
They don't have many to show right now, though. They did, if memory serves me correctly, State of Play was not too. The State of Play was not
2
too.
weeks before it was they showed Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon 2, and that looks fantastic.
It looked good.
I actually just started playing Horizon.
Wow. I was going to start doing that too. So we can do that together.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's cool.
So anyway, continuing on because we're almost done with this.
Legend of Zelda.
Before that,
The Legend of what?
What's the Legend of Zelda? Anyway,
I'll
before,
see myself.
oh, that sound. Oh, my poor
that's
ears
gonna
when
hurt.
I edit this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, sorry.
No. So
Oh, my
before-
mic's messed up. No, I'm just kidding.
God,
It's
I
probably
hope
fine. I hope not.
Before they showed Breath of the Wild, a game that shocked me that I was not expecting to like, Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Oh yeah.
I
That
am
looked
not
really
a Shin
cool.
Megami Tensei fan, and everything I saw, I was like, wow, that's just a straight up RPG-ass RPG, and I think I want to play it.
It looked very cool.
That's
yeah.
true.
It looked really, really, really fun.
Just cut to people who are Shin Megami Tensei hardcores. Don't play that game first.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I think they're all pretty standalone. I think you can just pick up whichever one. Yeah. Like Persona, same thing.
Or Final Fantasy.
But yeah, well, they're standalone in a different way. I think.
Right.
I think Shin Megami Tensei games maybe.
I only mentioned Persona because they're spin-offs.
Yeah.
Like you could pick up Persona 5, play that.
Yeah.
You know.
I
You
guess
don't need
you're
to
right.
play
Yeah, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 beforehand. Yes, like Final Fantasy, basically. Yeah. Like Dragon Quest, like any of those.
So then we finish off E3 with Breath of the Wild 2.
That just reminded me. That just reminded me. I still got to finish the first game.
You didn't beat 1?
Neither did I.
I came really close.
But you knew that.
Again, I came really close to that, but I will wholly admit I stopped playing almost virtually. Like I don't want this to end.
I did that for a long time, and then I stopped. I was like, I had to beat this game. I just had to know that I finished the game and beat it, and I did it. It wasn't hard.
Yeah, it's like a part of me that's like, well, all right. So once I finish that, I'll do it on the harder difficulties, and then
Yeah, well, I tried playing in Master Mode, and woof. I almost beat it. I think I'm right outside the castle right now. I could just walk in and beat it right now.
I wish
but
Switch
man,
had trophies.
Man, do I wish Twitch had trophies. It's just a
A little bit of extra, like,
oomph to
Yeah.
go in and play something.
like, ah.
Hey, go after this thing. That's
Yeah.
why not? But Breath of the Wild 2 looked fucking amazing. It looked every bit as good as I expected it to be because it's just more Breath of the Wild in I want to say like a Majora's Mask, maybe Twilight Princess style way, but the way they showed it, I know you're not a huge Zelda fan, but it had a very Skyward Sword feel to it.
I was gonna say that, and that it kind of makes sense why they are putting out the HD
That's what I was
remaster
telling
of
all my
that
friends.
particular
all right,
game.
They
Yeah.
chose Skyward Sword for a reason.
Yeah,
yeah, you know what? The truth, there was the picture of the rock in the air, like they were in the air. So I'm like, yeah, there's actually some. There's a motif here.
They showed Hyrule Castle lifting off into the sky. So yeah, it's just like there's a reason for this, and there's some hints being thrown around, or not hints. Sorry, speculation being thrown around that maybe we're playing as a different Link, or there are two different Links in this.
Whoa.
I don't know. There's
I
a
like
lot
that
of
kind of shit. That's
yeah.
cool.
There's a lot of stuff that's coming out of this
That's some meta shit, right?
But
there.
the only bad thing that came out of this is that they said they were hoping for 2022.
Ooh.
Which does not sound good. that's not a thing you want to hear from developers. Like, yeah, we're really hoping for 2022. That means late 2022 at best.
Yeah.
And man, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's a 2023 game, and man, that hurts.
Counterpoint. Switch Pro comes out first.
Yes.
That actually would set up the table really nicely for Breath of the Wild 2 release. Because they can take advantage of its capabilities.
Counterpoint. Breath of Wild 2 available day one on Xbox Game Pass for Nintendo Switch.
Man, just blowing out your wad, huh? That's just never gonna happen. You play that on the lottery. If that ever
is
works,
my
man.
bravest take.
The bravest
Yeah.
take of all brave takes. But yeah, and so outside of everything we talked about, any other big hitters you want to talk about before we leave this thing?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've got a few. There was one I missed actually with Devolver Digital because it was Wizard with a Gun.
Okay.
Reminded me of Diablo 2 and Bastion.
Okay. I can see it.
Never mentioned Sony until late, but the Salt and Sanctuary sequel, Salt and Sacrifice.
I have not played enough of that game. I really need to. But I actually, after seeing that, I was actually excited to play that.
And I did see some of the PC gaming show. Dodgeball Academia looks really fun.
I saw nothing of that. So what does it look like? What's happening?
It looks like the one of those old school like 2D platformers like Final Fight. It looks like it's like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game,
Really? Wow.
but you throw dodgeballs. So I wonder if they're gonna make like they're gonna try to make a game that catches fire like multiplayer games like Among Us and Rocket League and all that.
I'm always hopeful for small developers to catch that kind of fervor. It's always nice to see a game come out of nowhere, even though Among Us came out like a couple of years ago. It's been in early access, and then this past year it's just like, hey, Among Us, and everyone's playing it. So yeah, I'm always hopeful that games like that can do something like that. That'd be cool.
And let's see, and Dying Light 2, because I like the first Dying Light. That actually is Dying Light 2 is finally coming out. Unlike Dead Island 2.
Dead Island 2 is gone.
That's been in dev hell for almost as long as Duke Nukem Forever was in.
As Kind of Funny likes to say, that game is going to be vaporware. It just doesn't exist anymore.
And a little bit of horror game for Nintendo. Fatal Frame: Maiden of Blackwater.
Fatal Frame, yeah, that's obviously Nintendo. So Fatal Frame is perfect for the Switch. It's obviously with all the movement capabilities you could get out of it. It's perfect for the Switch. I'm not going to play it because fuck that, but it's perfect for the Switch.
Like scary. I like how I'm the one making fun of you for that.
I wouldn't. You don't have much of a leg to stand on from what my experience.
Tune in for the unreleased PT
God.
gameplay footage from a few years ago.
I still have it, and that's the only thing we can release because trying to play PT now, it's broken. It's sad. It's very sad.
Wow.
Even though it
Really?
still scares the shit out
I'm
of
sure
me.
you could find something online
It's on
through some sort of method.
Dreams. Someone remade it in Dreams. I don't know how 1-to-1 it really is.
Oh yeah.
But
Wow. So that's
Dreams
the only
like the
version
creator,
of that exists.
is the content creator stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I thought so.
Mike's gonna release that on a Halloween, or for Halloween at
how
some
many times have I
point.
said that?
If I had a nickel.
Yeah, no, I feel like yeah, I got in my mentions for stuff that kind of stood out for me. Elden Ring was pretty
right. Elden Ring.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Shin Megami Tensei, not really up my
I did not
alley,
expect to
but
like
it looked really fun. Also, I was Metroid Dread looked pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm probably gonna be playing that. But and also Mario Golf looked
Yeah, Mario Golf
like a
is
lot of
couple
fun,
weeks
and
away.
I'm not even
Yeah.
a golf person either, and I'm like, that looks fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to play Mario Golf. So that what we got? Everybody all E3'd out?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say so.
I still don't know what an E3 is, but
It's
E cubed.
it's when you get a bowl of cereal and it's just nothing but E's in there.
a bowl of cereal
It's just
with E's.
It's just E's. It's just the letter E. It's like,
What?
Are you sure that's an alphabet soup with just E's in it?
but it's just E's. It's only E's.
E's nuts. Cut that. Please cut that.
I'm not cutting anything. Damn it. All right, we're done here. Thank you for joining us on
We're
this. You're not
done
wrong.
here.
As of right now, we do not have a set release or a recording or releasing or recording schedule.
But
But-
look forward to hearing from us next time in the coming weeks. Be sure to like this podcast and share it with your friends. That way, if you liked what you heard, we can see that and have more of an incentive to do this more frequently.
Thank you very, very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Are you okay that I did that?
was fine. Okay. I was afraid I was going to fuck it up. So I'm like, all right, Mark, go ahead. You do this
I just did it to mess with you.